That's fine. He makes another one. Really, Cure had no options. It was like he kept hitting a wall. Paralyze wants to end this and then go through a PvP and get the hell out of this group.
You know, he started things off with an aggressive build too, with the Oracle coming in, and also held Cure's attack. I feel like Cure's taking a step back here, saying, you know what, I don't actually need to play this aggressive like drop style. I think that style is really falling out of fashion, because if you defend perfectly, or at least as near to perfect as it gets, like it's hard for the Terran to get ahead there. He picks Frost, a 4-player map. I think he's focused on playing a macro game, maybe harassing the third base to Paralyze instead of trying to go gas first, right, and do aggressive moves that way.
Well,
I think that's like where his strength really lies.
Let's see if Frost can make it work this time. Game number 2 has just now loaded up. Paralyze up one game. Can Cure turn this around, or is Paralyze going to go to the winner's match? Let's find out here in the GSL Code A. And in the bottom right, our Protoss player, one of 3 here in this group. He is
Paralyze.
Cool idea. I really like that one, actually. His opponent spawned Cross in the teal. He is
Cure.
Notice the rally point actually on that SCV indicates he's probably going to go gas first again.
Well, if I want you to know, that's not the color teal.
Isn't it?
That's taupe. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, oh. The only reason why I call this
Chick colors.
By the way, I don't actually think this is teal either. The reason why I say teal is because in StarCraft 1, like people would always refer to this color as teal, like in team games and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, it's teal. I don't know if that's actually teal, but it's the closest thing to the one that was in StarCraft 1 that everyone called teal, so that's why I call it teal. I don't think it's actually teal. I think teal's a bit darker colored.
I don't know if we could say green.
No, definitely not. I mean, green is
green or bluish green.
I'm actually really bad at colors. People have told me, like, I think I might be colorblind. Like, Brendan has told me this multiple times. I've taken some colorblind tests. I failed, like, one, like, tiny part of the test before.
That's possible. Their colorblindness is pretty common. I believe colorblindness is more common in males than females.
Yeah.
Is this correct?
Yeah, I did some research on it. I don't know if
I believe men can't see colors as vividly as females can.
That might be true.
Or can't differentiate or something like that. Because I've had moments like that with orange and red, and I'm like, no, it's orange. You're like, well, that's actually red. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I used to think Facebook, the logo and the color that's at the top was actually purple. I was like, yeah, it's purple, right? And everyone's like, no, it's blue. I'm like,
blue.
Oh, yeah, actually it is blue.
Oh my god, yeah, that's happened to me too.
I don't know why, but my brain just thought purple, even though it saw blue.
I'm like, I want you to know that, in fact, I would call the color Cure is pink wolf. Does that make you uncomfortable?
I'm like,
oh my god, my reality.
Well, the thing is, nobody knows for sure, right? If we all see the same colors.
How do you know the brown I see is the same brown that you see?
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't even know if your face looks the same to me as it does to, like, Artosis.
No, it's just as handsome as it is to everybody else's. Now we have the Nexus coming down now with the Mothership Core. This is going to work out quite nice for Paralyze since they are in cross spots. Paralyze scouting that right now, by the way, the cross spots. The factory is going to finish here. He'll put that where the barracks is. We've seen this well over several hundred times.
Pile block this?
Oh, that would be sick.
Because there's no Marine, actually.
Do it.
He better do it. Oh, there it is. There it is. I think he's going to still do it. He should. He should do it.
Oh!
Oh, it didn't queue.
That would have been so sick.
Oh, no, he didn't misplace it either. Oh.
That would have been so cool.
He almost got it, man. That would have totally ruined the build, actually.
Yeah, it would have.
Was he going to do pull SCVs to kill that?
Would have been like, I'm putting this on YouTube. I've never seen this before. Be like, oh, no, that's really old, but still it would have been sick to see.
It's just that situation rarely occurs really in your opponent's base where he has an add-on like that. He did go gas first, and since, of course, the build has been scouted, he only goes 2 Hellions and then switches up. He's not going to commit to the Hellions after, like, there's no secret here. Robotics is, like, an interesting follow-up to scouting this, though. I guess expecting maybe some Widow Mines are coming his way.
Okay, the Hellions are almost there now. The command center is about, well, no, it's about halfway to being complete, excuse me. And let's see if these the Stalker, rather, can hold this off. It's going to be about probe control. This is a nice move here to block.
Yeah, just a few probes only. It's okay to lose 1 or 2, as long as you don't lose, like, 7. Yeah.
Okay, really nice control here. He actually lost money with those Hellions.
Well, 4 probes killed in total. But that
includes, did he get 4?
Well, actually only 3 because it includes the probe that he died earlier.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so
yeah, he did lose money there.
He definitely did. He got scouting information, though, so I think it's worth it, but he didn't pay for the Hellions for money, for an eye, Hammurabi style.
Hammurabi's code.
Look at that Lyote, man.
Look, it's a wolf.
No, it's a Lyote.
That's a wolf with horns.
It's a Lyote. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's a Lyote. It's a Tesalope. Now we have the pickup here. The 2 Widow Mines and 4 Marines. Let's see. I don't think that's going to graze by that Observer. This isn't a bad follow-up here, but you got to be careful as Terran when you start to attack into the Protoss and you're not doing enough damage to pay for the units you're sending in there. You are getting behind. It's almost like you're sending your little drops and your harasses in there as gift-wrapped presents, because then it becomes very easy. The Protoss just sits there, especially if they're scouting well with the Observers, like we see right now. He just goes up there, and if he guns down the medevac, oh, man.
Actually,
lordy.
He could wait until the medevac gets close, then use the Nexus Cannon and target. Well, decent pull there on the probe.
And
there's the cannon. Tanking it. Nice. 2 kills in total for 2 Widow Mines. Not worth the cost. But he didn't lose, like, so much that I would say that the Terran is, like,
really, it's the medevac you want to get. If you can clean all that up, it's bad news bears for the Terran. So Cure is continuing to stock up an army. We'll see if he tries to harass again. I think with any player on 2-base, there is a limit to how much you can actually harass before you're basically just falling into a trap.
Yeah. Is that like just 3 Marines in there? I don't know how much this is actually going to be worth anything.
No, this is like just not worth anything.
This is like send those home and heal them up. They've like worked so hard. They don't need to die like this.
He might just be doing that to keep the other player back in his base. I mean, with Paralyzed defending, he can push out here with this army.
Yeah.
But with 1 Colossus popping out, I mean, can he really do anything against this Protoss army over here?
Without
maybe
a mothership core, maybe, but
yeah, maybe if he gets him out of position, but
if he makes a mistake.
Doesn't he have a mothership core still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't have one, which wouldn't happen, you know what I mean? Like, if this were Wings of Liberty, he could do a lot more, but ground armies for Terran just got weaker. I mean, their medevac can make them a little bit more mobile, but not doing any extra damage. He's just got to be careful about overcommitting to this, like we talked about before. Like, you know, you mentioned if you keep sending them in, you're gift wrapping them.
Well, Terran's now taking his 3rd base, staying in expansion ahead, and we have a double drop over here. I believe there are a few stalkers back there.
Yeah,
to catch this. Perhaps not.
Well,
well, this wasn't worth it.
No.
Considering.
I mean,
well, now he might actually go in here, and it looks like the Protoss army was not here. I got to say, I'm surprised to see this from Paralyze. But you know what? It worked. He intimidated him into leaving. And by the way, Kier should 100% know that's a hallucinated Phoenix.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to follow the medevac just to make sure where it was. This is annoying for Cure, but upgrade-wise, we're going to be at a very similar situation than we saw last game. In fact, this whole game is expansion timings-wise and upgrades-wise very similar to the first game. The +1's going to finish first for Cure, but then eventually Paralyze is going to catch up and then pass him in upgrades with Chrono Boost on those forges. That Marine got a little bit too curious.
Yeah.
Can I kill a photon cannon? Let's find out. No. No, you can't, actually, as it turns out.
Looks like Cure's army is going to push forward here a little bit more now. The scouting hallucinated Phoenix will confirm that the 3rd base is there. And you can see that Cure is actually quite interested in doing some harassment. Oddly enough, he could have actually gotten in there and done some damage to the main, maybe even gotten that Colossus, but he didn't seem to have the confidence going into that. Probably also knowing that generally harassing a Protoss on 2-base is a mistake.
Yeah.
However, Paralyze wasn't equipped really to deal with it. There were moments when most of his army was out in the area we actually see right here, when there was ample time to get the 2 medevacs, dropping that army in the main. But he backed off. Now Paralyze expands a little bit farther behind. This isn't uncommon at all in this matchup. The Terran gets the 1st base because the Terran has the medevacs. He can keep the Protoss at home. The Protoss then expands a little bit later because he wants to make sure that Colossus count is up. It's really about having a good Colossus count. Now here is an interesting move. Kier coming in over here at this second base. If he does opt to go in, if he loses this army, it's going to allow Paralyze to probably counterattack and poke the third.
I like that he makes like 3 more cannons as natural, because basically what he's saying is, my ground army is for the third. You drop me in any shape, way, or form, but these cannons are going to buy enough time and make it so it's not worth it for you. See, look at that. With the Nexus cannon, he's like, absolutely not dropping on that. Third base stays alive because his units are there. And if it's a big attack at the natural, his units are in between the second and the third base, so so easily moved that basically what I'm trying to say is he's in between the bases. So if there's a big attack at the third or a big attack at the natural, his main army covers both bases. So he's in a very nice, solid defensive position here. Really like how he's playing this. That pylon is going to have to be canceled.
And actually, this harass, I don't even know what he's doing here.
Yeah.
Wow. Late reactions. I wonder if Kier is one of these players that doesn't quite know how to prioritize. Like, he seems very fast and he's efficient, but when it comes to battles, sometimes you see StarCraft players that enter the battle and then go back and like macro or try to make an expansion when really they do need in that moment to babysit their army. I mean, this is where priority becomes incredibly important.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have a fantasy that the best of the best are doing everything at once, and it's actually not true. Even for Flash, he knows exactly when it's time to watch the fight, exactly when it's time to pull away and do something else, and that's a big difference between somebody who's a GSL Code S Champion and then somebody who is simply has high APM and can copy builds.
Yeah. I mean, hold that thought. Let's actually watch this. Again, I don't think he needs to commit here. When I was learning StarCraft 1, when I was really bad, when I was like, I guess like 12 years old or something.
Oh, baby wolf.
My friends would always tell me that were like much better than me, like usually like 5 years older than me or so. I was like, just you watch the fights too much. You got to like jump back and macro.
Yeah.
And I think like some people take this to the extreme. Obviously not pro gamers usually.
My problem was actually the opposite. Was I would actually start macroing when I should just watch the fights. There's moments where I could have done a little bit more back in that battle. Or maybe not. Sometimes I would like try to drop and be like, I'll try to macro here, and it's like, no. Well, pick up your Reavers and actually don't lose them because they're too important. If you lose them, you lose the linchpin of the game.
Well, I usually have my factories like on 3 or 4, and I have to like double tap it and go back, because in StarCraft 1 you can't just like press one key and queue everything up while you're looking at the fight. You actually have to jump over there.
Game made a man out of you.
There's a 4th base going down. Stalkers blink forward, targets a Marauder, but he's getting out of there somehow. This is just Kier trying to find a hole in Paralyze's play, but Paralyze just doesn't have any right now.
Yeah, we'll see if Paralyze gets one with the 4th base. You get pretty spread out here with the 3rd and the 4th, and especially with the 5th. I mean, if Protoss tries to go to a 5th base, that's going to be pretty hard to hold. And Protoss will probably get a 5th base either during or before the Terran does, depending on how the game pans out. I mean, at this rate, he probably could just make another Nexus.
It's really tough to actually win a late-game fight against Protoss as a Terran, because you have to have just the right amount of Vikings and Ghosts.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tightrope walk, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you're a Protoss player and you have like too many Stalkers or too many Zealots, which can actually happen, you can make those instantly, oftentimes even on the battlefield, but the Terran player doesn't have that time. So if you make the wrong composition, it's too lopsided one way or the other, after the fight is over, then there's no time to just be like, oh, well, I guess I just need to switch this. Oh, nice target here.
Yeah, this is really smart. To get these reactors, I think he should have split that up a little bit better. But now he's going to go up here into where the SCVs are and start harassing there. The Terran army is split up. This might be a good moment for the Protoss to actually engage the small Terran ball in the middle right now.
Oh, he's just getting add-ons galore, man. Even Tech Labs, which means less Ghosts, less Marauders, obviously. Killing some Vikings off here.
Looks like there's some debate here from the Terran about possibly attacking here in the middle.
Ooh, he's got to be careful. He needs to get EMPs if he's going to do this. And EMPs he does get, but Storm or 2 on these Vikings would be quite nice. Looks like the main base will finally be cleared up here. Kier takes a step back. Losing those add-ons costs him a lot of time, but he has this huge bank. And he's going to be able to rebuild these units pretty fast. This game could go on for a while longer. It's going to be decided by one battle where both players really commit to it. This could be that battle. I don't think so, though. It's just way too much Terran here. He fights into a bit of a concave. Solid EMPs. but Kirkade push it all the way.
Yeah, it looks like Protoss will back up here. A few more gateways coming down now. And he's going to have to be very careful here. In fact, the fourth base may be exposed in such a way that, in fact, the Protoss can't protect this, especially going up that choke. He's going to get the gas. Let's see if he can actually come up here. A nice blink in. A storm as well. The Zealots coming up now. The Colossi backing away. I got to say, Paralyze is fantastic at macroing this big army. And again, Terran not quite kiting enough. The Zealots had a great surround there. Look at the supplies now. 200 to about 160. Protoss now putting a proxy pylon over here in the middle of the map. He wants to keep pushing. Can he get over here to the third? That would be huge.
Yeah, he's going for it, man. And all those medevacs were sitting under that storm the whole time. So even though you guys don't see it on stream, I'm pretty sure they're all at least in the orange. So they don't have a lot of hit points to work on. They're not going to be alive for very long if they start to engage. No planetary here this time, so a lot of SCVs going down. If he brings his whole army over to defend, then Paralyze is able to come in here and capitalize on that. And if he doesn't, he starts losing too many SCVs. It's a bit of a tough situation.
He wants to draw the Terran army out, the same way the Terran wanted to draw the Protoss army out back at the engagement back there that we just saw. Can he get this, though? It looks like he wants to regroup and be very careful. He's just going to leave the Stalker and the Zealot there. That's enough to hurt the workers without jeopardizing his army. Now the Terrans come out. He does move in here. The Zealot's spilling in. And again, the Terran now being driven back. He's going to try to make another Nexus over here at the expansion.
Yep. And, I mean, he's going to eventually get the Nexus down. There it goes. But he's up 50 supply here, and there's just way too much Protoss. Doubling now the army supply. He's camped the production facilities. And there's just not enough answer for these Colossi. 3 Colossi to 4 Vikings.
This should be the beginning of the end here. As the Nexuses and Pylons are warped in. There's just nothing he can do. GG Paralyze, the superior player, will go on into the winner's match.
Very well played by Paralyze in this series. Much better than I expected them to do.
Yeah, he played very impressively. I mean, you could see he understands the matchup on a very deep level. We see a lot of Protoss is cheesing. Nothing wrong with cheesing, but it's even more impressive when you see a Protoss who just understands how to be safe. I mean, this is StarCraft with condoms on, guys. This is very safe play.
Yep, absolutely.
And look, I mean, there's nothing fancy to it. He just has defense everywhere. He has the Templars. He has the right unit balance. He knows fundamentally the Terran have an even harder time than the Protoss do when they get spread out on expansions. Bring it to the late game. Get the Storms up on that army. Use the Colossi. Micro them away from the Vikings and push through.
You know, with the play like that coming out from Paralyze, I think he might have a really good shot at getting out of the group.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually...
Granted, PvP is pretty different.
It is, very different. He's playing that well against Cure. I think he might be fielded more often coming up for SKT in the next round of Pro League as well, if he can beat a player like Cure so handedly, twice in a row.
Yeah. Well, up next, we do have a PvP. We're going to go to that after this short break here at the GSL Code A.